after today's speech, I will be able to provide you with some tips and some ideas on to how to create the space that you want to live in, as you deserve. So usually when I tell people that I'm a professional organizer, they look at me and they say, oh, they've never really heard of that. And then they say, how did you get into that? So a little bit about me, my story. I've lived in Los Angeles for 18 years. Before that, I lived in New York City, and I grew up in New Jersey. I was actually a professional ballet dancer for many years. And I loved dancing. I moved out to LA, I kept dancing, and then I moved into the fitness and wellness industry, where I switched from ballet to boxing. And I ran a boxing gym. I was the director of a boxing gym and a boxing promotion. After that, I was a school group director at a gymnastics school. And then after that, I was a manager of operations and events at a fitness wellness design company. But throughout all of my work, I was always organizing on the side, on the weekends. A friend would call and say, Laura, I have to move. Can you help me pack? And I like to pack. And I had people who own businesses who haven't opened their mail in 3 months because they're too busy working their business. They didn't have time to do their administrative duties. So I would go and I would help them get sorted out. I would go through their mail. I would make sure they were up to date on whatever bills they needed to be that needed to be paid. So that's how I got into organizing. I just started doing it. It comes very naturally to me. I absolutely love it. So here I am. And thank you for having me. So the new trend is to be a minimalist. Multitasking seems to be out of style. Organizing is very in style. Decluttering is very in style. Being a minimalist. Having less things. How many of you have a room in your home or in your office, or a closet, or a pantry, or your garage, or maybe just even 1 or 2 drawers that have stuff and they're cluttered and you're not particularly happy with it? And don't be shy, you can raise your hand. How many of you want to downsize on your belongings? Excellent, okay. Well, as I said earlier, go ahead right now and visualize how you want your space to be. Imagine how you will feel when you have that area cleared out and it will be exactly what you want. When you come home at the end of the day, or when you come home in the afternoon, or when you wake up in the morning, you're waking up to a space that you absolutely, absolutely love. So organize, declutter, and simplify. Those are my taglines, if you will. I like to encourage people to organize one step at a time. You don't have to do everything all at once. And a lot of clients call me and they say, Laura, I don't know what to do. I'm so overwhelmed. I have things in every room of the house, and it's just there's piles of paper, there's piles of stuff, there's piles of clothes. I don't even know what to do, where to begin, what the first step is to get these things cleaned up, what to do with them, and how can I do it. So what I like to do is make it clear that there is support. I do all I can to support my clients. I'll do all I can to support you today. And if you have any questions along the way, by the way, feel free to raise your hand and ask me, because I will be happy to answer them. I do know that making decisions on what to keep versus what not to keep can be so very difficult. It can be emotional, and it can be really draining. It can be hard because a lot of times what you've accumulated over the years comes from either our gifts from people who you love or who you care about or who may not be in your life anymore, but the memory of the people are what makes the physical item so meaningful to you. Maybe you've worked very, very hard over the years, and you worked to buy all of your possessions, and you have collections and collections and collections of things. So to get rid of those, it might be emotional, thinking, wow, I worked really hard for this, and now I still have it. I don't want to get rid of it because I worked hard for it. I'm here today to tell you that if you get rid of the stuff, the physical stuff, whatever this is that's sitting in your space, whatever the stuff is, you will not get rid of the memory, and it will not discount your hard work in what you did over your life to build your empire. But after you get rid of this stuff, you will feel better. You will feel lighter. You will feel well. You will want to get up. You will want to use your space. And I sincerely encourage you to not be afraid to let go of the physical things. So piles of files, piles of paper, piles and piles. About 15 years ago, I met the woman who is now my sister-in-law. And she wasn't married to my brother yet at the time, but I remember she brought me to her house. It was actually a small condo that they had just bought together. And I walked in the door, and there was this dining table that seats 6 to 8 people, and it looked just like this. Wow. And she looked at me and said, "Oh, come on in. Don't mind the table, it always looks like this." And I thought, my brother has met the girl of his dreams. Because my whole life, this is what my brother's table and room and everything looked like. And they are still married, and their table looks a little bit better, but they are happy the way that they are. They don't mind leaving things out. They don't mind having the kids' artwork or schoolwork or mail sitting on the table, and then you just push it over and eat dinner. It works for them. It does. So I don't judge if it works for you. Power to you, because they are very happy. I love them. They're in their world. But I don't know. He and I came from apparently the same place, but we're different. So if you have papers that look like that, or files, take some Post-it notes. Oh, my Post-it notes are in the bag. Make one pile that says shred. Make one note that says recycle, and make one that says, not trash, recycle would be trash. Shredding, recycling, and keeping. So now, out of all the stuff, anything with important information on it, social security numbers, account numbers, even your name and address, those are smart to shred. If the paper is just junk mail or something that does not have your information on it, go ahead and toss it in the recycling bin. And then you're left with what you really need to work with, and you can file those. One thought, I'm going to tell you one suggestion that you should all jot this down because it changed my life. There is an app called CamScan, C-A-M-S-C-A-N, and it is a scanner on your telephone. You just take a picture, it saves right there. You can email it immediately to somebody. It's super, super easy. CamScan, it's a great reference. Actually, I can't even take credit for finding it. One of my clients found it and told me about it because she uses it for some of her work documents quite often. It's called CamScan. Yes, CamScan. So the idea is to put things away. Make sure everything has a home. If you have a lot of paper, get yourself a little file cabinet. If you can go paperless and you're comfortable saving PDF files, having backup hard drives, I highly recommend it. It will clear your space. You can eat dinner at night, eat breakfast in the morning, drink coffee, and have your table back to yourself. Create an inviting space for yourself. Again, going back to like what I said earlier, make your space what you want it to be so that you can spend more of your time doing what's most valuable to you. If your workstation is clear, if your surfaces are clear, then it will lead to just so much more efficiency, so much more, a greater workflow and more time for yourself to go out and enjoy your day. I'm just curious, how many people make their bed in the morning? Super. Because I know it sounds like a silly question, but if you wake up and do the simplest task of making your bed, you've already done some organizing, you've already straightened up, now your room is ready, you can present yourself, you can walk out the door, you can live your day. When you come home at night, you've got a beautiful bed that's made up, and you come home to the space that you love. So again, create an inviting space for yourself, whatever it may be. How can you declutter? So ask yourself 3 questions. Do I use it? Do I need it? And do I love it? I know many, many people who've gone out and they've bought brand new coffee makers. Some of them are Keurigs, some of them aren't. Some of them are state-of-the-art with the timers, and they grind the beans for you in the morning. Really nice coffee makers, and I like them too. But then they'll call and they'll say, Laura, I don't have space in my kitchen. I don't know where to put anything. I have things that are just now flowing on the counter. And I'll get there and I'll open up the cabinets, and in that corner cabinet, you know the corner one that is like really awkward to get to, but yet it has a lot of space, but you kind of have to bend down and reach in. I'll find the coffee pot that the new coffee maker just replaced. And then behind that coffee maker, there's another coffee maker that the one in front of that one just replaced. And they saved all the coffee pots because what if a glass carafe breaks and then they have to replace it, which makes sense. I agree, because you don't want to be without your coffee in the morning. However, do you need both machines, full machines taking up space in your cabinets or in your cupboard or in your pantry when you have a perfectly beautiful new machine on your counter? Maybe save the glass carafe by itself for an emergency, but then consider donating the other items that are in your cabinet that you don't use, or the other appliances that have been sitting there that you haven't used in a year or 2 years. It's okay to go and to take those out. It's okay to put them in a bag, put them in the trunk of your car, and go to Goodwill. The next time you pass a Goodwill store, just get out of the car and give them your bag and move along your way. It's a good system to have, actually. As soon as you get your bags of things that you want to donate together, put them right in the trunk of your car. That way they're not sitting by the door for another month or 2. Oh, I have to go to Goodwill, and then you come home and go, oh, there's that bag. I have to go to drop it off at the Salvation Army. Oh, I forgot to donate that bag today. Put it in your car, and then when you're driving, you'll say, oh, there's Goodwill. I'll stop, and then you can unload that load. Makes it really, really simple. Do you need it? Ask yourself, do you need whatever it is that's in your closet, or whatever it is? Excuse me?
Someday.
Someday. Well, see, someday. And I'll tell you the truth. And I'm extreme because I'm very organized. I have had times, there have been times where I've purged my closet, gotten rid of the clothes that I haven't worn in 6 months or more, and I've given them away. And then a week later, I come home and I say, oh, that black shirt, and then I go to put it on and I realize I just donated that black shirt. But the truth is, and this is the truth, as soon as I catch myself saying, oh, shoot, I just donated that black shirt, I go, oh, but look how good my closet looks. And then I just find something else to wear. So someday, if you might need it, and if you love it, and you might use it or need it or wear it someday, go ahead and keep it. But is every single thing something that you'll use someday? If you love everything, then I invite you to keep everything. However, know that when you come home to your space, it may look a little bit cluttered. Okay. So quality versus quantity. Here are the books. Books are so valuable. A lot of us have tons and tons and tons of books. Some of them we've read, and some of them we're going to read someday. That's right. As soon as I get time, I'm going to read that book tonight. But consider your bookshelves or wherever you store your books at home. Are they completely full? And then have you gotten more books? And the shelf is full, so you kind of like, you stack them up. They're in the shelves this way, and then you put another book on top of it this way to try to make room. And then now the shelves are completely full. So, okay, you start to put your books next to the bookshelves, and then there's a table over here, so you put some books on the table. And then all of a sudden, your whole living room is nothing but piles of books that you might read someday. So I encourage you to go through those books. Decide if there's one or two or 10 that you are going to read someday, or even maybe there's some that you read that you really love that you want to keep because maybe you like to open up the pages and look in it once in a while. That's fine. But the ones that you might not read someday, consider donating them. Donate them to the local libraries, or depending on the type of book and the content, donate them to a school or a youth program, or yes?
They can sell them on Amazon or eBay also.
You can sell them on Amazon or eBay. And yes, selling things is definitely another option, and I will talk a little bit about it. It's a great idea. Or, like I said, depending on the content of the book, depending on the type of the book, consider who might want to read that book and donate that book. Worst case, recycle the paper. You can sell on Amazon, you can sell on eBay, and you can sell, instead of donating, consignment is something that I did want to touch on today, selling things, whether it be on consignment or selling them yourselves on eBay. I think it's a great idea. I do want to say that a lot of people think, and sometimes, a lot of my clients get frustrated because they'll call me and they'll say, I have all of these books and I have all of these clothes and I would like to sell them and get some money for them. And I'll say, great. Okay. So I do some research based on what the product is, whether they have furniture, clothing, and the bottom line is when you sell things through consignment or you're, on your own, have a garage sale. However, be careful because a lot of my clients are very disappointed because you may not make, you probably won't make the amount of money that you feel you should or that you feel that item is worth. So if you have books to sell, sell them. They're going to be worth whatever someone's going to pay for them. And if you have $5 in your pocket and a living room of clarity, to me that's worth it. Another thing, linen closets. I love linen closets. I love to fold them and make them look amazing. If you have sheets and sheets and sheets, and if your linen closet, if you go to open the closet, it's time to change the sheets, so you open the door and you take a set down and then, everything comes down, so then you have to hold the next one up and pull it because you've got so many things in your linen closets. So many sheets, so many towels, so many. Animal shelters do take sheets and towels. The animals love to have and usually need nice, it's a cozy bed for them. So I encourage you to take sheets and towels to the local animal shelters. Then, or where? Or a rescue, exactly. Shelters, rescues, yes. Homeless shelters also accept new towels, I know, as well. Not new towels. They don't have to be new, but they will accept towels. Choose 2 sets of sheets for each bed in your house. That's really all you need because one's on the bed and one is in the closet so that when the ones that are on the bed get washed, you can change your sheets. When you fold your sheets, fold up the flat sheets, fold up the fitted sheets, fold the pillowcase, take that one remaining pillowcase, put everything inside, and now you've got a little pack with your whole set of sheets, so you don't have to worry about, do I have a matching set today? No, you go into your closet, you just take out that whole set. Yeah. Greeting cards. Who keeps every greeting card or note card that they've received from somebody because it was a special card and that meant something to you?
Some.
Yeah, some. It's okay. I'm not judging you. Some people are afraid to raise their hands. There's no judgment. And if you keep them all and you have a space to put them, I think that's great. Now, if you're keeping them and you've never looked at them, you don't know when you're going to look at them, but there's a box in the attic or in the basement that you got today's mail and this person sent me a card. Okay, so I'm going to go drop it in the box in the basement or in the attic. Now you've got a box, maybe 2 or 3 by now, of greeting cards. I'm here to tell you that if you recycle the greeting card, you're not losing the sentiments of the loved person who wrote that card to you. You're not losing that person. They're still in your heart. They're still, hopefully, in one capacity or another, a part of your life. If they're not in your life right now, they meant something to you. That's not going to change. But the physical cards can get recycled. Unless you're not comfortable, then find a nice box, find a nice bin, but at least get rid of the envelopes that they came in. If you take them out of the envelopes, you'll have double the space to put more cards. And if you're keeping the envelope because somebody's address is written on the envelope, take out your phone, put their address in your contact list, and throw out the envelope. And the next time you write to that person, you'll know where to look for your address. Yes, sir?
I got a lot of picture cards for my family members.
Oh, picture cards. Those are the
Every
hardest
year
to
I
get rid of.
My grandkids and everyone. And I don't feel like throwing away.
You don't want to throw them away. Do you not want to throw them away because you feel guilty throwing them away?
Guilty.
Okay. But do you want them in your house? You do. Okay. Then if you don't want to throw them away, get yourself, I recommend getting a bin or a storage container, labeling it, and put those cards in the container. Yeah, and find a nice place for it though. Find an appropriate storage place. Maybe under your bed you have room to put a box under your bed and you can keep those cards under your bed. Or maybe in a closet somewhere. After you've cleaned out your linen closet, you're really going to triple the footprint of it. So you may have room in your linen closet on the floor to store your greeting cards. Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I have a little bit of a suggestion because I'm a crafter.
Oh, okay.
I make my own greeting cards.
You do? Okay.
So what I
Those
do
are the
is
hardest to throw away. Yeah.
I just bought a notebook.
Uh-huh.
And it's got those clear pages and the cards that I get from crafters all over the world go in each little folder.
Oh, like in the,
Take up a lot of room.
okay.
And Christmas cards, if I want to redesign it, I'll tear the cover off.
Uh-huh.
And then do something in it.
Excellent.
So there's ways to recycle it without ruining it.
Recycle it without ruining it.
Right.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Thank you. Choose what to keep. Okay? So, in your closet, choose what to keep. If you clear out your closet, it's going to feel like you're doubling the footprint of your place. You will be shocked at how much space you have if you clear it out, organize it, put like items together with like items, take out things that you forgot were in there, either sell them or put them in that bag that's going to go in the trunk of your car and off to Goodwill, and you'll have you'll be so thrilled with your space. You'll be so thrilled with your space. So, yes.
Well, not here in LA, but when you live like, I don't know, New York, that you have winter clothes and summer clothes. And you have limited amount of storage.
And you have limited amount of
I know,
storage.
'cause I have a girlfriend who has that problem.
Okay, she lives in New York?
She lives in New York.
Okay, so the question is, if you don't live in Los Angeles and you live someplace where you need winter clothes and summer clothes, and you have limited space, how do you store them? And I've seen a variety of things. I've done a variety of things. You know, because winter clothes, they're bulky, they take up so much space. I have used those vacuum bags. Are you familiar? You know, you buy the bag and you put the bulky winter items inside the vacuum bag and you seal it, and then you can just stack it. When you live in New York, and I used to, so I know, you have to make do with a lot of vertical space. I used a lot of vertical space, and I actually built some shelves that, you know, to go up. So for things that I don't readily or didn't readily need every day, I had a step ladder, and I would just keep those things stored up inside the closet in that little space where the shelves were built. So I recommend those types of bags. Yeah. Growing up, we had an attic, and that's what we did. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what kind of, are they in New York City? Are they, do they have a house, a small, tiny apartment? A tiny apartment does make it challenging, but you know, just take a look at the space and see where are the little nooks and crannies that you can create things that don't, you know, you don't want to stuff every space with things, but you want to see, can I utilize the shelves? What shelves can I utilize? Trying to make the best use of space. And I'll be here a little bit afterwards if you wanted to talk to me and ask me. I can, you know, ask some more specific questions and maybe offer some. You're welcome. So in your bathroom, when was the last time you opened up the bathroom drawers or the bathroom cabinets and you saw all of the shampoo and the conditioner and the hygiene, facial cleansers, products, different soaps, scented lotions? And how often have you used those? So I would say to take your bathroom cabinets, do a clear out. Any items that haven't expired, go ahead and donate them to a homeless shelter, because they often need hygiene items. Okay. So like I said, it's okay to let go of items, even if they have memories associated with them. You're not a bad person if you get rid of the physical. Okay, you're keeping the memories. I know it can be very difficult. The feeling of guilt can be just, that's why people keep things, because they say, oh, this person gave this to me, this person gave this to me, I need to keep it. It's okay to better purpose it. I had a client who had to move out of his house a few weekends ago. He had one weekend to get everything packed up and out of the house. And he said, Laura, I have this closet. And he opened it, and it was full of winter coats. Winter coats that were his father's, who had passed away a few years ago. And he said, you know, I've never worn these coats. My dad gave them to me. I moved them from the last house, and I put them in this closet in this house, and now I need to move out of this house, but I don't know what to do with these coats. But they were his dad's, which is why he had hung on to them. So he said, well, let me ask myself something. What would my dad want to happen to these coats? And he realized his dad would probably want somebody to wear the coats. So he donated the coats to a homeless shelter. And that's how he was able to purge those items. So be ready to accept what you want your space to be. When you visualized earlier the area of your home or your office or your garage that you might want to be cleared, visualize it and be ready to accept the space. Okay, these are just some, I think they call them concrete tubes, and you can get them. They're very inexpensive, but they work great in the garage to store those awkward items like you know, lawn rakes and rackets and baseball bats, things that are very awkward to store. Makes it easier. Yes?
Do you get those at Home Depot or
Yeah, at Home Depot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Home Depot can be a great resource actually for, for some minor do-it-yourself projects, yes. Ask yourself what makes you happy. And are the first things that come to mind material items? Or does making you happy does it make you happy to spend more time with your friends or spending more time with your family members? What makes you happy? So I'm just going to back up here to where I was. Choose less stuff and more happiness. Think about what makes you happy. Think about what works well for you. Does it work well for you to let the books pile up? Maybe it does, and that's okay. But if it doesn't work well for you, go ahead and change it. It's okay. I have a client who, her dad passed away, and her mom's still alive. She has 3 sisters, and they had to go in and clear out Dad's closet, which is a very difficult thing to do. Like I said, it's very difficult to go in and decide what to keep, what to throw away. So they went into the closet. They had to clear all of his belongings out, and instead of keeping his shirts, what they decided to do was keep a few of his shirts, and they made pillows out of them. So now each grandchild has a pillow with one of their Pop-Pop's shirts on their bed or in their bedroom. So that's one way of hanging on to a small piece of physical, the shirt, the physical stuff, but also keeping the memory alive and being able to get rid of the rest of the stuff so that the closet got cleaned out. If you have photos or children's artworks, your children's or your grandchildren's, consider making it into a keepsake book, or I don't know, as you craft, a scrapbook. You can do a scrapbook. There's probably more ways than I know how to even do it that can be done. I know there are also resources here in Los Angeles where you can send things to them. They'll send you a box. You put all the artwork or whatever the keepsakes are, you put them in a box, and a few weeks later, they send you, I don't know if you can see in this picture, it's a little smaller than I'd like it to be. That's my fault, though. And they'll send you a book. So now you have a book full of all of the important artwork that you can keep maybe on your coffee table. And now the chances of people looking at that artwork and enjoying that artwork and discussing that artwork are far greater when they can open a book and turn the page and say, oh my gosh, my grandchild did that, look at that, as opposed to having it stuffed away in a box someplace where nobody's really going to look at it, but you're saving it because it's an important piece of keepsake for you. So just a few suggestions. So lastly, how to stop accumulating the clutter. So now you've cleared everything out. You've got your bags. They've gone to the trunk of your car. You've brought them to Goodwill. You've got your space. But now there's a sale down the street, so you're going to go shopping for some more clothes. So here's a general rule. For every new item that you bring into your home, toss out an old one. Sell it. Donate it. If it's beat up and battered, put it in the trash. Stop the cycle. Everything in your house or in your office or in your space should have a home. That's the key right there. If everything has a home, you'll know where to put it. You'll know where to take it out the next time that you need it. If you think of anything later on in the day or later on in your program, I'm available. So thank you very, very much. Thank you.